is 3 things God always does to a narcissist, even until they die. Is there a divine consequence for narcissists? Can the universe or a higher power intervene to hold them accountable for their actions? If such accountability exists, why do narcissists seemingly get away with their behavior for an extended period? If there's karma awaiting them, why doesn't it manifest immediately when they hit rock bottom? It's perplexing to witness the narcissist's apparent contentment while you endure hardship and strive for progress. This raises questions about the fairness of the situation and prompts reflections on belief in a higher power, whether it be God, the universe, or a higher self. Where does this divine energy originate? And why does the narcissist seemingly thrive effortlessly? These are the questions I aim to address in the current episode. Welcome back to the Exposed Narcissist channel. In today's episode, we'll take an unconventional approach by exploring narcissism through a religious and spiritual lens. Building upon the previous episode, where I discuss 5 signs that God may be revealing someone's narcissistic traits, this installment will delve into 3 specific responses from God towards a narcissist. If this piques your interest and you're eager to learn more about these topics, please consider subscribing to contribute to the spread of information on narcissistic abuse. Also, if you haven't watched the previous episode, you can find it by clicking the I button above. 1. Abundant opportunities for change. A narcissist is generously granted time, countless opportunities, and personal space by God with the intention of facilitating transformative growth. However, the narcissist consistently fails to engage in self-reflection, accept accountability for their actions, or recognize the need for a rational change in behavior. God, respecting our free will, does not appear inclined to hastily punish or chastise. Personally, I perceive the divine as the most merciful and compassionate force. Consequently, the narcissist is presented with numerous opportunities to exercise their freedom, as shown through various avenues demanding an understanding and acknowledgement of their actions. Failure to do so will inevitably lead to consequences they can no longer evade. You, as evidence of this, are a divine gift to the narcissist, offering everything necessary for their transformation. You generously offered opportunities for personal growth, demonstrated empathy, unconditionally embraced them, extended forgiveness, and treated them with the nurturing care one reserves for their own child, overlooking their shortcomings and consistently approaching them with understanding. Yet how has the narcissist reciprocated? How have they treated you? They subjected you to mistreatment, exploiting the liberties you granted, and even weaponizing your admirable qualities against you. This equates to engaging in an ongoing struggle against the divine force, exchanging your life force for transient, materialistic gains that offer only fleeting satisfaction. They opted out of experiencing the richness of love and life, as their obstinate and unyielding disposition binds them to an endless loop. They persist in repeating the same patterns, convinced that they are ascending to new heights, soaring, or attaining divine status. In their belief, they wield authority over all circumstances, be it related to individuals, themselves, or the earth, and remarkably, God allows this cycle to persist. The universe allows narcissists to indulge in delusions because the more intoxicated they become, the more painful the eventual fall will be when they crash face first. This is precisely what happens when a narcissist hits rock bottom. Their retribution unfolds as their world is upended and reality confronts them head-on. This doesn't imply that God is malevolent, as he generously provides them with ample opportunities. The narcissist, in their self-destructive path, inflicts this retribution upon themselves when they reach the nadir. Their punishment lies in the realization that their entire source of validation has been exhausted as they age. This is their self-imposed penalty, A fundamental principle in scriptures is that God detests arrogance. If he allows individuals to prosper, grow, or flourish in any way, it is ultimately to their own detriment, as the more they expand, the more agonizing it becomes when they contract. The second consequence from God for narcissists involves the removal of all their sources of sustenance. An example of this could be a narcissistic parent severing all connections with the children they once thought they controlled and owned. Similarly, when these children come of age and recognize the narcissistic traits in their parent, they sever all ties, leaving the narcissist devoid of support and vitality. God dismantles their entire existence, stripping away their strength and every claimed power. I witnessed this with my paternal grandfather, a staunch narcissist who believed himself to be godlike. He once walked with immense arrogance, reveling in the fear he instilled in family members and others. Now, isolated, he is reduced to a mere collection of deteriorating bones that accumulate daily. His understanding of harmony is lacking, and his children despise him, as they too exhibit narcissistic tendencies. He often reminisces, saying, "I used to be this, I used to be that." Living in that delusional fantasy, he thought he would remain eternally youthful and dominant. However, reality caught up with him, courtesy of God, leading to his prolonged existence, a consequence of his own suffering rather than a bestowed reward. Thirdly, God allows narcissists to dwell in an unaltered state of dissatisfaction and unhappiness, driven by their unwavering belief that nothing is ever sufficient. Their insatiable desire for more remains unquenched, akin to a vessel with a perpetual leak at its base. They lack gratitude and fail to express appreciation, not only for their accomplishments, acquired possessions, wealth, or relationships, but for everything, including themselves. Regardless of their achievements, there is a perpetual sense of inadequacy. Even the slightest perception of something missing triggers a traumatic response. While many individuals may experience such feelings, they have the ability to recognize and acknowledge them, understanding their inclination toward perfectionism that requires improvement. The case is markedly different with a narcissist. They consistently project this sense of perpetual deficiency onto others, including you if you provide what they deem lacking. They demand changes in your appearance, insist on more efforts for them, and dictate specific behaviors and speech, all driven by their relentless pursuit of an elusive sense of completeness. Moreover, despite your earnest efforts, the goalpost continues to shift incessantly. The narcissist remains oblivious to their own remorse and insecurities, further entangling themselves in a detrimental cycle rooted in their unacknowledged deficiencies. In response, God allows them to persist in this alternative state of discontentment. Paradoxically, a life steeped in discontentment obstructs the attainment of inner peace and the understanding of true joy. Though they may seem content with their myriad possessions, their pleasure remains fleeting, akin to a temporary high. Their relentless pursuit of novelty robs them of stability and the authentic experience of being genuinely loved and cared for. Despite your demonstrations of affection and concern, they never reciprocate, lacking the capacity to receive such expressions. Their misfortune is profound, for love, with its elevated frequency and vibration, holds the utmost significance. It surpasses material wealth in evoking a sense of fulfillment. Devoid of this fulfillment, they are deprived of encountering divine mercy and personal growth. Trapped in a stagnant vibrational frequency, their consciousness remains perpetually stunted. They fail to mature, comprehend the unity in diversity, or recognize the divine presence around them. While these concepts may be more advanced, they are crucial for spiritual development. Their existence mirrors that of a parasite, engaged in an eternal race and relentless pursuit of the same coveted object, a condition more dire than that of an animal. Ensnared in a predatory state, they find themselves incapable of extricating from its clutches, an expression of divine wrath. At times, God unveils them, exposing their true nature and subjecting them to disgrace. Despite their claim of exceptional intelligence, narcissists master the art of concealment. Yet, when God decides to unveil them, every detail becomes transparent, revealing the narcissist's intricate web of deceit and falsehood, reduced to ash. Stripped of every facet of narcissism, they implode, left exposed and helpless, with no retreat or resources to pursue. The struggle and suffering intensify, for being alone with oneself is the ultimate punishment for a narcissist, unable to tolerate their own presence. Ultimately, this fate befalls every narcissist. Notably, I've observed that each narcissist I know has been abandoned, a consequence of their own deeds, particularly in their treatment of offspring and loved ones. No one desires the company of a perpetually critical and grumpy senior who belittles and plays the martyr while receiving assistance. Consequently, they find themselves isolated, left alone with their own misery, which only serves to fuel their anger and exacerbate their narcissistic tendencies. Even in the afterlife, they find no solace for their spirit, residing in the lowest realm, if one believes in such realms. Alternatively, if one believes in regeneration, they may undergo transformation into another form, as they never merit the human experience. Their afterlife, if it exists, is one of torment, a consequence of their actions. In essence, narcissists lead perpetually miserable lives, devoid of joyful endings. Eventually, they confront the repercussions, unable to avoid the suffering that ensues from their own karma. This is not divine cruelty, but a confrontation with the consequences of their actions, a perpetual cycle they are doomed to face. As we approach the conclusion of this episode, I'm curious to hear what you believe God does to narcissists. Share your observations and experiences in the comments section below, enlightening others. These are the final thoughts for this episode. If you found it informative or valuable, please express your thoughts in the comments. We'll continue the conversation in the next one. Until then, stay connected and let the healing process begin. Greetings, fantastic audience. Today, we're delving into a topic that many of you might resonate with. What transpires when narcissists become aware that you've unraveled their true selves? It's not uncommon for individuals to sense they're not being treated properly, but fully comprehending the extent of manipulation and understanding the impact of narcissistic behavior can be quite a challenge. Whether you felt ensnared in a relationship with a narcissist or are simply intrigued by the signs that emerge when they realize you've seen through their facade, you're in the right place. Join us as we unravel the intricacies of this realization. Before we plunge into the depths, if you enjoy this content, spread the love by hitting the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions. Let's foster a community where we can exchange experiences and insights. Now let's embark on the exploration of what unfolds when the mask begins to slip, and narcissists recognize you've exposed their authentic nature. It's bound to be an enlightening journey, so let's dive right in. In challenging situations, some individuals opt to steer clear of the narcissist's path, avoiding any potential trouble. Others may go the extra mile to appease the narcissist, offering compliments or investing considerable effort into their relationship. However, these endeavors typically yield little success. Some might even propose therapy, either as a joint venture or individually, in the hope of fixing things. Unfortunately, these attempts often fall short of truly comprehending what's transpiring with the narcissist. Over time, Certain individuals come to the realization that they are entangled with a narcissist, or, at the very least, someone who consistently stirs up trouble. This awareness often dawns on them after enduring a prolonged period of feeling undervalued. For those occupying the primary partner role, this realization may take considerable time. Conversely, individuals not in close relationships may reach this point after being repeatedly ignored and belittled. Whether you are a close partner, a secondary partner biding time, or someone involved in a clandestine relationship, there comes a juncture when you uncover that you are dealing with a narcissist or someone perpetually causing disruptions. Now, what if you decide to diverge from the misguided paths mentioned earlier? You might opt to confront this individual, exposing them as a narcissist or categorizing them as manipulative, abusive, and dishonest. But what unfolds when the narcissist becomes aware that you have seen through their performance? Here's a crucial point. Most narcissists don't genuinely realize that you have discerned their true nature because they are often oblivious to their own behavior. Many fall into the category of being unaware of their actions. It's not as if they're consciously thinking, "I know I'm a narcissist, and now this person has found out. What do I do? Should I admit to deceiving and abusing people? They've uncovered my true self. What's my next move?" No, they remain oblivious to their own nature. So, when you point out to them that they might be a narcissist or manipulator, their genuine reaction is surprise. It might be challenging for some to believe, but that's because you might not have a full understanding of narcissism. Emotions could be influencing you, or you might be viewing things more from your perspective than the narcissists. It's crucial to recognize that when most narcissists are told they're a narcissist or accused of being manipulative and abusive, they sincerely reject it. They're not secretly acknowledging it while outwardly denying. In the case of a self-aware narcissist, the dynamic changes. They are aware that you've seen through them. However, whether you accuse an aware or unaware narcissist, their initial response is denial. They might assert, "No, I'm not. What are you talking about? That's crazy." This denial is their attempt to quash the threat your accusation poses to their control. If you persist in accusing them, and they persist in denying, their narcissistic tendencies might lead them to resort to other forms of manipulation. They might choose to walk away, dismiss your claim, or even turn the tables by accusing you of being the narcissist. They might use physical aggression to silence you or employ confusing language to refute your claims. Occasionally, a narcissist with some self-awareness might react by saying, "I understand why you might think I'm a narcissist. I see why you're concerned about that." However, they won't admit to it. They might state, "I acknowledge some similarities, but I'm not exactly a narcissist." Or they may give the impression of intending to change, but fail to follow through. It's just another way for them to manipulate you, even when they appear apologetic or understanding. Regardless of the circumstances, these types of narcissists won't truly comprehend or acknowledge that you've uncovered their authentic self. They will deny it and employ various tactics to maintain control. Accusing a narcissist may not always lead them to terminate the relationship, especially if you're their primary partner. However, if you're a secondary partner, they might withdraw or keep you in a state of waiting. What truly matters is how you respond after realizing you're entangled with a narcissist. It's not merely about labeling them as a narcissist or manipulator. It's about your subsequent actions. If you alter your behavior because you've recognized their true nature, the narcissist will sense that something has changed. Continually accusing a lesser or mid-range narcissist, even if it strokes their ego, will be perceived as a challenge, and they'll attempt to exert control over you. For example, If you deviate from the narcissist's expectations or behave differently than before, they will take notice. In the past, when the narcissist ignored you, you might have pursued them. However, if you cease such behavior, it signals to the narcissist that something significant has shifted. Accusing them doesn't bother them as much as changing your behavior does. If you label a narcissist as such but continue to interact with them in the same way, it doesn't significantly impact them. You are still providing them with what they desire. While the accusation may momentarily challenge their control, once dismissed, it ceases to be a concern for them. The crux of the matter is this. When your conduct undergoes a shift, the narcissist recognizes that you've unraveled their true nature. A highly self-aware narcissist will grasp this fact. On the other hand, a lesser or mid-range narcissist might not fully comprehend it, but will sense that something is amiss because you're challenging their control. If you're their primary partner, they might begin treating you poorly or excessively nicely in an attempt to realign you. However, once they regain control, the facade of kindness fades, and you revert to being mistreated. In the case of a secondary partner, if your behavior changes, the narcissist might choose to ignore you and divert their attention elsewhere. Later, they might check in to assess if you've reverted to your previous behavior. If there's no change, you might find yourself relegated to the sidelines. Thus, while calling them out may momentarily inflate their ego, it doesn't pose a significant problem for them. However, when behavior changes are observed, that's when complications arise. A highly self-aware narcissist will comprehend the situation, while a lesser or mid-range one may not fully understand, but will feel a loss of control due to your altered behavior. If you're a secondary partner, you might experience brief mistreatment and subsequent neglect as the narcissist focuses on someone else. As the main partner, you might face deteriorating treatment and attempts to be nice as a means of regaining control. If these efforts fail, they might choose to end the relationship. For a secondary partner, they might leave you on the shelf for a while, only to attempt reconnection when it suits them, and your response may align with their desires due to the passage of time or a different approach from them. In essence, when a narcissist, whether consciously or instinctively self-aware, discerns that you've exposed their true nature, their immediate reaction is an attempt to regain control over you. This realization often arises from your accusations and, more significantly, a noticeable shift in your behavior. If the narcissist is unable to re-establish control, they may choose to sever ties, especially if you hold the role of their primary intimate partner, or alternatively, they might place you in a temporary state of suspension if you're a secondary source. This pattern is frequently observed in such scenarios. I extend my gratitude for your active engagement and the dedication you've shown in exploring the intricate dynamics of dealing with a narcissist. If you found this information valuable, I encourage you to demonstrate your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful content. Understanding these patterns empowers us to make healthier choices in our relationships. Take care and stay safe until our next interaction. For additional resources and personalized guidance, peruse our free book and consider a one-on-one consultation. The link is provided in the description below. Feel free to share your thoughts or questions in the comment section. Your journey toward understanding and navigating these challenges is significant, and we're here to assist you every step of the way.